We all look for the light to lead us to healing when life appears hopeless. The story here highlights one woman's remarkable journey. The story describes a woman's spiritual journey through a challenging relationship with her mother. This account emphasizes the intricacy of familial bonds, the effects of childhood trauma, and how Buddhist teachings might help with recovery. Accepting emotions is a key point in Father Faizan's advice, compassion and letting go. We'd like to welcome you to get around with her to find genuine healing and the truth about life. As we discover that there is always a light of kindness and wisdom waiting, even in the darkest places. The woman in the story grew up in a family of 5 siblings. The fact that she was the 4th child seemed to be the root of the issue. Every child received a distinct treatment from her mother. By adoring the oldest and 2nd children for their academic prowess, and the 3rd child for their fragile health, and cherishing the youngest child since it is thought to bring luck. However, because her family had financial difficulties when she was born, she saw the 4th child as bad luck. Her mother had been mistreating her since she was a young child, being hurt and criticized all the time. The mother would occasionally even claim that it was not her place to be born, or, in a fit of rage, shove her down the steps. Even if more time has gone by, she has developed into an adult. Get a job and be able to support your family financially. However, she still feels it seems her mother lacks concern for her. She believed that her mother still saw her as a negative. Regardless of how much you try to behave well, she had inner conflicts as a result of this traumatic event, between the painful feelings that are still buried deep in her soul and a child's obligation to care for their mother in her later years. She desires to forgive, but she struggles with it. She made an effort to pardon her mom. However, it is still not entirely feasible since heart wounds require time to heal. When a child's responsibilities conflict with their inner selves, inner conflict arises. Despite the fact that she fulfilled her obligation to look after her mother, but still unable to do it with an unadulterated love-filled heart. There may occasionally be guilt-ridden sentiments that are directed towards the mother. She made the decision to return home to care for her mother for 2 months after her mother became ill due to old age, leaving her family living overseas. She hoped to forgive her and forget the previous scars in her heart, and she fully meant to take care of her mother. However, her mother's response to her was exactly the same. Before, she had wished for her mother's death in order to return and live properly with her family. Ultimately, she felt bad about unintentionally thinking such a terrible notion. Father Faizan Vizalo gave her wise counsel in such instances when she had the chance to speak with him about the Dhamma. The need for mental healing and altering attitude and mindsets is highlighted. He began by telling her to acknowledge her emotions without placing the blame on oneself. The first step toward healing is this acceptance. We won't add to our own suffering when we embrace our sentiments without attempting to repress or reject them. The monk underlined how crucial it is to refrain from self-criticism, because placing the blame on yourself will lead to issues and intensify your emotional pain. Secondly, he suggests attempting to figure out the cause of the mother's actions. Father made the observation that a mother's behavior could have its origins in the pain she had personally endured in the past. Perhaps her own parents mistreated her in the past. This comprehension fosters empathy and may eventually result in forgiveness. Father concludes by telling her to see negative thoughts for what they are, thoughts, not who we are. He likened our hearts to a platter that can hold a variety of dishes. Thoughts can be both pleasant and not delicious. Both positive and unpleasant things can occur. However, it's crucial to resist being tied to or following that notion. Then we realize that negative ideas are merely transient events. It's not who we really are. In the end, we'll be able to let go easier. Father Faizan's guidance is centered on inward healing. This is the way to real freedom from suffering via acceptance, comprehension, and letting go. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of living life in accordance with the ideals of repaying karma, doing good, and taking advantage of karma, all of which the Reverend Father clarified. Father Faizan firstly made the point that taking care of your parents isn't a way to atone for your past deeds, but doing good is what matters. He clarified that accepting the repercussions of sin, like stealing and going to jail, is what is meant by atonement, or smoking and drinking until cancer strikes. However, when we look after our parents despite the possibility that you have damaged us in the past, that is an excellent thing to do, and that is what needs to be done next. Doing good things consistently will contribute to the development of a more giving mind. In the end, this makes forgiveness and understanding simpler. Second, Father discussed the idea of reaping benefits from karma. This is not the same as karma repayment. Making excellent use of karma means learning a valuable lesson from hardship or difficult circumstances. For example, instructing the Dhamma through the use of disease to recognize the transience of the body, or to exploit pain as an excuse to live a reckless life and hurry to spend the remaining time doing good actions. Painful memories from the past can act as a reminder of how crucial mental training is to be liberated from the deep-seated hurt, hate, and rage. Finally, Father Faison made the argument that suffering might serve as inspiration for Dhamma practice. He clarified that people who have never known suffering are frequently not drawn to the Dhamma or its practice. However, hardship can serve as a catalyst for tenacity in mental training. Many people have experienced suffering and, in order to find relief from it, turn to practice the Dhamma. Utilizing pain as fuel to get beyond hate, rage, and sorrow. It is seen as a very advantageous application of karma. In conclusion, Father Faison's teachings emphasize that karma can be used appropriately and good deeds can result in comprehending the Dharma and freedom from suffering, even if we've gone through difficult times in the past. Being aware of these ideas will enable us to live intentionally. Improved understanding of oneself and others can lead to the ultimate development of a stronger mind. Life will inevitably involve suffering. However, suffering is not something that should be avoided or tolerated in Buddhism. Yet, it might be a route that results in profound insight into the Dhamma. To begin with, pain is a fantastic way to practice mental training. Suffering presents an opportunity for us to grow in awareness and knowledge. We can gain a deeper understanding of the nature of the mind and emotions by paying attention to suffering. We discover how to let go of our attachment to our ideas and emotions. However, in my opinion, it's just a natural occurrence that comes and goes. Second, using meditation to free oneself from pain is a profound process. A person's interest in Dharma and practice is frequently sparked by suffering. Many who have experienced extreme pain have come to realize that the way to actual suffering release is through meditation practice. Through Dhamma contemplation, attention, and meditation, suffering can teach us valuable lessons and help us advance spiritually. Finally, a potent method of approaching Dharma is to use traumatic experiences as inspiration and reminders. Experiences with trauma can help us understand the value of mental training. It also encourages us to make an effort to get rid of the pain, hatred, and rage that are buried deep within us. Use pain as a warning about life's transience and the necessity of exercising caution. It will support our increased dedication to Dhamma practice. In conclusion, developing the mind and insight via suffering is a potent way to approach the Dhamma. We can use hardship as a chance to grow spiritually rather than seeing it as a barrier. Through employing the Dhamma, training the mind, and drawing inspiration from traumatic events, suffering can actually be turned into a road to freedom and realization of life's true meaning by us. The woman ended with the statement that, when she became a mother, she tried her hardest to take care of her child and that she knew when to let go and not to put her own problems onto her child.